or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. I'm Jenna, and today I'm going to be doing a quick get ready with me video. If you have any questions about any of the products I use, I'll do my best to mention them in the video, but if I forget to, just DM me or Snapchat me or anything. Honestly, I have all my information in the subscription box below. And if you really enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really like it, you can press the little bell notification to get notified every time I post a video.
So the first thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing my Becca Velvet Blurring Primer, and I'm just going to be applying it all over my face and into my neck because I do apply foundation to my neck so that my skin tone looks even all over and the transition is smooth. The next thing I'm going to be doing is just grabbing a red lipstick and applying it to my under eye so that when I apply foundation, I don't have any under eye bags that are showing. I pretty much use any red lipstick, it doesn't really matter. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is just grabbing my foundation brush and my Sweet Leilani Skin Cover in the shade Sunrise, and I'm going to be applying it as a foundation all over my face. And my foundation brush is pretty tightly bound. I prefer them to be more stiff so that it applies it better because it is a very thick foundation. This is a really great foundation. I use it all the time, as you've probably seen in my previous videos. It's really, really great for full coverage, and it is vegan, paraben-free, gluten-free, cruelty-free, and fragrance-free, which is really great for me because I have very sensitive skin, and so I try to be really careful with choosing the products that I'm using directly on my skin. Yeah, and you can probably get this at your local drugstore if you live in Walnut Grove, or online if you can't find it anywhere near you. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is bronzing, and I'm just grabbing my Aeroposa Pro Contour Kit, and I'm using the contour shade as a bronzer for this, and I'm going to be applying it with a Real Technique powder brush. I'm applying it to the cheekbone, the jawline, and into the neck so it blends out nicely and looks like one skin tone. I'm going to also apply it to the hairline / the border of my forehead. And then I'm also going to apply just a little bit to my nose because with bronzing you are supposed to apply it to anywhere on your face that really gets sun. So I just like to add that little bit of a glow. And this is just a really great one. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I just really enjoy bronzing. The next thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing my Wet n Wild blush, and this is in the shade Precious Petals, and I'm going to be applying it with my blush brush by Real Technique, and I'm just applying it to the apple of my cheek to give myself kind of a healthy flush. I don't want it to be too vibrant, but it blends out beautifully, so I don't have to worry about that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing my Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder by Maybelline, and I'm using the shade 05 or Fair, and I'm going to be grabbing a loose bound brush to apply it with, and I'm just applying it to the under eye, the bridge of the nose, the chin, and along the cheekbone just under where we bronzed. This is a really great one, and I'm just using it as a light kind of brightening on my face. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing my LA Girl Nudes palette, and I'm going to be using the first shade, and I'm using my medium shadow brush by Real Techniques to apply it, and I'm applying it to the eyelid and up to the brow bone. The next shade I'm going to be using is this really pretty pink one, and I'm using the same brush to apply it, and I'm applying it to kind of the entire eyelid and then blending it out into the previous shade that we had on. Next, I'm just going to grab a crease brush by Real Technique, and this is their Essential Crease Brush, and I'm just going to be applying this shade to the crease and the outer corner of the eye and blending it into the other shades that we have on. Next, I'm just grabbing a shading brush by Real Technique to kind of buff out the edges and make sure that it's a really smooth transition and it blends into my skin and doesn't look like any definite lines. So now I'm just going to be grabbing a little sponge tip kind of applicator, and I'm going to be grabbing the shade that I pointed to and applying that to the inner corner of my eye and kind of blending it to the middle of my eyelid. And this is just a shimmer shade, and I just really want to add that brightness to my eye and make it look really nice. Now I'm going to be going in my under eye and using a cone shaped brush, and I'm just going to be applying the darker shade to along my under eye and kind of blending it out to give it a nice look. I find that doing this kind of really accentuates the eye and draws attention to it, which is exactly what I want to do. So next I'm going to be grabbing my Roller Lash Mascara by Benefit, and I'm just going to be applying it to my upper and my lower lashes. I really enjoy using this because I find that the brush is really able to separate my lashes and just make them look curled without me having to use a curling tool, which is really helpful when you're in a rush in the morning and trying to get ready. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing my sleek highlighting palette, and I'm going to be using a Quo fanning brush to apply it, and I'm just going to be applying it to the high points of my face, which include my cheekbones, the tip of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. So once I'm done kind of applying it all over my face, I'm going to grab another sponge tip applicator, and I'm just going to go in and apply it to the very inner corner of my eye and a little bit along the lower inner corner of my eye, just to really brighten my entire eye and draw attention to it, because I kind of want that to be the centerpiece of my look. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing a damp face cloth to just wipe off all the foundation that I have on my lips. And then I'm going to be grabbing my Benefit lip gloss, and this is going to be in the shade Life on the A-List. And I just really love this one, and it just gives a nice little tint to my lips. And I'm just going to apply it all over them. So for the final step, I'm just going to be applying my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray Set setting spray, and I'm going to apply it all over my face, and then I'm done.
So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and or subscribe. And if you really enjoyed it, push the little bell notification down below next to the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every time I post a video. If you guys, again, have any questions about any of the products I use, you can contact me through DM or Snapchat, or you can just leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing week.